yeah, we're just gonna wait a few minutes while people come. Maybe we can start around like 6:05 Eastern or something. Yeah, welcome, I guess. This will just be a chill kind of chat thing. Um, will the recording be sent to your emails? I think it might be available online. It's going to be published by like Empowered, I think. I'm not sure
It'll
exactly.
also be on the YouTube channel for like MAA, so we
Oh,
can like try to get that to you guys at some point afterwards.
okay. Yeah, so how are you guys doing today? I guess it's kind of AMC season. Very busy. Are you guys doing anything for Halloween? Personally, I'm not, though I might be writing college essays. Hopefully not. Also, feel free to turn your cameras on if you'd like. It's up to you.
Although just make sure to stay muted though, so that people can hear what we say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you won't show up in the recording unless you make a sound.
So yeah, we'll probably start in like a few minutes. Maybe like 2 minutes. Kind of hard thinking of stuff to say because any icebreaker questions I think of are like already questions that we're going to talk about later. So yeah, but like feel free to chat and like say hi to each other. Yeah, so you can like say where you're from, I guess. That is one question that we're not going to talk about later. At least I don't think so. So yeah. You can also say like what grade you're in if you want, or yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering like what grades are you all in? Like are you in middle school, lower school, high school? I don't really know. Oh, okay. We have like a mix of people.
Wow, we
Wow,
have some really young people as well.
I feel really old right now.
same. Well, it's very nice to meet all of you. Okay, I guess you can start now. So, Andrew, take it away.
Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
sorry. Just one moment. If I could just say a few words
Yeah,
and
of course.
welcome everyone. All right. So good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Catherine Kosin, and we also have here Intisar Ali. We are both assistants for competitions operations at the Mathematical Association of America. So for those who are not familiar, the MAA is the world's largest community of mathematicians, students, and enthusiasts. Every year, the MAA runs the American Mathematics Competitions, which leads to the USA Mathematical Olympiad and USA Junior Mathematical Olympiad competitions at the nationwide level. The top Olympians from the USAMO and the USAJMO are invited to participate in the Mathematical Olympiad program, or MOP, which is like a math summer camp, and you'll be hearing about some of that today. Tonight, we have a panel of top Olympians who participated in MOP this year and who are here to explore with you all things math competitions, experiences, myths, and advice. We first started these fireside chats because students from MOP wanted to speak to the larger student community, to you all, and demystify a little bit what MOP, USAMO, and International Olympiads are like. It was also thought that this would be a great way to bring together students like you from all around the country to just hang out and meet other teens who share your passion for math and do some fun activities. We often hear from students that one of the great benefits of the MAA AMC program is that it provides many students the opportunity to find their math community. And I hope you'll have a chance, you'll take advantage of that tonight to meet some new people here. Now, but you're not here to hear me talk, so I'm going to now hand it over to our student co-host, Andrew G. and Vivian Lowe.
So hello everyone, welcome to the Fireside Chat. So our format for today will consist of 4 main parts. First, we'll do an intro for the staff, for the panelists, and then we'll each have a slide for each panelist where we will have 3 pictures in which the audience can vote on which picture they'd like to hear a story about. And then we'll have spectrum questions as well in the middle, where you guys can poll on different options regarding questions about math. And then afterwards, we have a Q&A in which we can ask us any questions. So looking forward to this event. I guess we'll start with Upper Maya.
All right. Hello, everyone. I am an 11th grader, and I'm currently in New Jersey. I made MOP made MOP last year, and I've been doing math contests for, I guess, about 4 years, maybe 3 years, seriously doing it. I think I really find motivation to do math contests in, meeting my friends. For instance, I'm going to MMATs tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get to see some of you guys there. But I think what really motivates me to continue studying math contests, being a junior and having so much schoolwork on top of it, is really to meet new people and, form these friendships that hopefully last a long time.
I'm Andrew. I'm a junior at the Hotchkiss School in Connecticut, and I've done math contests for many years. I think I've done the AMC series for 6 years, and I went to MOP as well this summer. And when I look back, I think that most of my most memorable math experiences have been as much from interacting with others as from doing math by myself. And I feel like it's really rewarding to see different people and talk with different people who you only see online at these math contests. I'm also going to MS tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And looking back at my math journey, I'm really grateful that I've been able to meet many people at these contests, and that's something that I didn't really appreciate when I first got into these contests. And yeah,
Hi everyone, I'm Laura. I'm a senior from Northern Virginia, and I went to MOP in 2022, and that was a really great experience. I made a lot of friends that I'm still really close with today, and I also got a lot of confidence from MOP. I solved a lot of cool new problems. That was fun. And yeah, I also captained my school's math team, which is a really meaningful experience to me. They're basically my second family. I really love math team a lot. We do a lot of fun traditions, and we go to competitions together. So I'm actually not going to MMATs tomorrow, but I'm going to a different competition. It's called the Carnegie Mellon Women's Math Competition, and I'm pretty sure I'll see Vivian there. So that's really exciting. And yeah, I also have a YouTube channel where I basically vlog my experiences at math competitions and math summer programs and stuff. And MOP was actually the first vlog I made, and I just continued with that since I just really loved all that positive energy at math events. So yeah, super excited for the event today.
Yeah, hey everyone, my name's Isaac. I am a junior from Princeton Day School, New Jersey. I I started contest math like the summer before 8th grade, so maybe 3.5 years ago, I'd say. And I went to MOP this past summer at CMU. Um, I guess what motivates me to compete, I'd say like as like a younger child, I was always like very competitive, like when it came to like anything like video games, basketball. But as I like started to do more math and met more people, it became more about like staying connected to the people that I met, just like doing random problems, talking about like contest philosophy and just like organizing meetups at contests. But I still do enjoy like the aspect of like building courage and like just building courage when trying to solve hard problems, and also like the process of it, because when you finish a hard problem, or even when you don't finish and you learn a lot from it, it just feels so rewarding. So yeah, that's why I'd encourage you guys to get into math contests.
Hi, I'm Srinivas. I'm a senior from Colorado. I started doing math contests in 6th grade with Math Counts. It's like a middle school national math contest. And I've been doing AMCs for like 6 years. I made MOP in 2022. And like basically my motivations for doing math are what everyone else has said, like just meeting this great community of people who are um, like really passionate about math, just like I am. But one thing I'd like to add is also like the math itself is just really cool. Like you get to see so many new ideas with every problem. And also like as Isaac said, like the problem solving process is also really useful. And it helps me a lot in like a lot of other things in life. So yeah, I would really encourage everyone to get involved in math contests if you haven't already, because it's a great experience to both meet new people and to discover these really great ideas.
Yeah. Okay, so hi, I'm Vivian. I'm a senior in high school and I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I made MOP in 2021 through 2023. And I also made EGMO. And so like basically, yeah, I like doing math for like the same reasons everyone else said, like meeting people. I've made a lot of friends through math, and like my life would really not be the same without math. And yeah, also I just really like solving math problems. It's really satisfying when you like finally find the answer after a long time. And also like the process of learning math is kind of like discovery. Like it really feels like you're exploring and like discovering something. So yeah, I really like that. And yeah, I also like going to math competitions, as Laura said. I am going to the CMW MC math competition tomorrow. So yeah, I like seeing my friends in person, so that's what I like about competitions. And yeah, also, I run this thing called AthiMath, which is like math classes for like female and non-binary math students. And a lot of I think Andrew and Laura are on the staff for AthiMath. It's yeah, it's pretty cool. And I do it because like I really got a lot out of like the math community, so I kind of want to like give back to it in some way. The math community really like showed me that there was like a way to like become good at math and like meet lots of people through it. So yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited to meet all of you. Okay. Now we have a subtle transition. Okay, so now Afra has some stories that he can tell, and it's up to you guys to choose which story he will tell. He's only going to choose one of them, I think. So if you want to like, yeah, I know the transition was so good. If you want to put in chat like either 1, 2, or 3, which story you'd like to see the most. Oh, actually, there's a poll.
Yeah, I just posted a poll, so if you guys can just fill that out, I will discuss the one that had the most responses. So the first picture, just to provide some context, is a picture like from when I was younger. It was my first time at a zoo. The second picture is a picture I took at MOP this summer, and you can see Andrew's in it with 2 other people. And then the third picture is just like the time I was trying to bake a souffle. So yeah, I'll just wait for people to answer, and then I'll end up talking about the picture that has the most votes. Currently, it seems like picture 2, so probably gonna do picture 2. All right, so everyone has answered, and picture 2, yes, has gotten the most votes. So I'll talk about it a little bit. For those of you who don't know, MOP, it's down on the campus of Carnegie Mellon, and nearby there's this really beautiful cathedral, right? And one of the days on MOP, I think it was one of the weekends, right? We decided that we would just go to the cathedral and just walk around. It wasn't that long of a walk, but then inside the cathedral, there were like 40 flights of stairs, and then some people went by elevator, other people just climbed up. It was all in all a very tiring day. But later on, when we were like at the final or top floor of the cathedral, Isabella, who is one of the teaching assistants or one of the residential assistants at MOP, she decided to just take Polaroids of everyone. So we kind of just asked her if we wanted to take Polaroids with any other people, and she would take it. In this Polaroid, you like I'm on the rightmost section, then there's Andrew leftmost, and then the other two people in between are Lurton and Edward. And I guess I chose this picture because to me, this really marked when I felt that I was a part of the math community. It was just so amazing to, be surrounded by all of my friends. We were doing these fun activities that aren't even related to math, just like wandering around, exploring cathedrals, taking pictures. And yeah, it's when I really felt that, I was part of something bigger and these were friends that I was going to have for a long time. And I'm really hoping forward to hopefully meeting everyone again this year at MOP. It was really wonderful. So yeah, that was my photo. I think we can probably move on to the next person now.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Alpha.
Yeah, I'm wearing the same shirt as I did in that photo. I remember I climbed like 40 stairs that day. It was very tiring. So I'll send the poll for mine. Yeah. Yeah, so it seems that the first picture got the most votes, so I'll talk about that, I guess. This picture was taken at Kennywood, which is a amusement park in Pittsburgh, which we went to during MOP. It had many different roller coasters and water slides, and this was at the main water slide in which we all got splashed really badly, as you can see here. And it was on the final weekend of MOP, I think, right after TSTST. So it was like really like after all of the stress was over and we like realized that the camp was ending soon and we all like embraced the final few days of that camp. And I think it was overall like that day felt like a blur to me because it just felt like I've gotten to like the point like MOP where like I've dreamt of like achieving like for a long time, and then like this thing is coming to an end, and that day was when I like really hit me that like MOP was coming to an end. It felt so surreal that like I was a part of like such a great experience where people like came together from all over the country and the world to like just do math together, which is like so beautiful in itself. And next to me there's Rohan, Aaron, Arian, Amy, and Alan. We stayed together pretty much for the entire day, and we did this water slide 2 times. I don't know why I volunteered myself to get splashed 2 times, but it was worth it, definitely.
Nice. Okay, maybe Andrew can explain the third picture if we have time at the end. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are Laura's stories. Go ahead, Laura.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you guys can vote on these. Yeah. It seems like they're all like pretty even, I'm not gonna lie. We'll give it like a few more seconds, I guess.
You other
Okay, I
panelists want
think
to bet
like
which one's gonna win?
they're like okay, I guess I'll just go with like the first one, I guess. It's like almost even. Okay, cool. So basically the first photo is like from this thing called like the MathWorks Math Modeling Challenge. And so if you guys haven't heard about this, it's sort of like a math modeling competition. And so like math modeling is basically like it's a little different from like your AMCs and stuff like that, but it's more about like it's like an open-ended question about like a real world scenario. So our question is about like e-bikes. So we like modeled e-bikes growth with like math models, and we also like use things like programming and statistics. So that was really cool. Yeah, this is like my first time ever doing like something like math modeling stuff. Like I've done the AMCs for like quite a few years, And so I was sort of able to like take that like problem solving skills from like the AMCs and apply it to like something like that was more about like the real world and stuff like that. And it was just like really eye-opening for me. Like it sort of like showed me that like math has like the power to like tackle like real world problems and like stuff like that, which I hadn't like considered before. And yeah, it was also like it was like a way for me to like step outside my comfort zone basically. And yeah, so like the photo itself, so like we like went to like the finals event and that was like in New York and we like presented our results to like this panel of judges and it was like pretty intimidating. Like I get nervous about like presentations a lot, but I don't know, I think like I just prepared a lot and I think like I'm just like it was like a good way for me to like sort of like explain like math ideas and stuff like that, like communication and sort of like explaining my reasoning and stuff like that. And yeah, so we ended up like winning, so we got like some like interesting prizes, including like those like posters, they say like I heart like math and like stuff like that. Because yeah, math is very cool.
Okay, now we have another subtle transition. Okay, Andrew, wait, sorry. Afra, do you want to talk about the first spectrum question?
All right, so how these spectrum questions are going to work is that we're going to have various different options, and then we're going to like chime in and say if we can understand, you know, or like what we think, what answer we resonate most with. So I think for this one, do people generally like understand what's going on right now?
Oh wait, sorry. You got the like, fake spectrum question. So you can also do the last one, since this isn't like an actual spectrum question.
Yeah, this is just an example of spectrum question.
Yeah, this is just an
To show you.
example.
Yeah. All right, it seems that people are understanding how to do this, so we can move on to the real spectrum question now. All right, so this question is, how did you get into math? I would say for me, it's probably as it is for a lot of other people. Originally, my parents were the ones who got me into doing math, but then going into middle school and hearing about the AMCs and hearing about math counts from all of my friends, that got me into math contests. What answers do you guys have?
And for me, I'd say it's like a combination of a lot of these things. Like as you said, originally it was definitely my parents, like when I was younger. But then I got into math contests, and then like I was motivated by my friends to like keep getting better and improving. I was motivated by my coaches to like because they like helped me out, and like when I was stuck, I also like had some classes where again I met like more friends. It was kind of just like a reinforcing cycle of all of these things, and I don't really have a single answer to this.
I think like my story is kind of similar in the way that I can't pinpoint like one thread which like pushed me to start AMCs and math counts and all that stuff. But my first time taking an AMC was actually in sixth grade when I took the AMC 8, and like the main reason for that was uh one of my parents signed me up for like this like random AMC like prep class at my local school and like on the weekends, and then like I did some practice problems there. I learned some like basic concepts, but I didn't really get invested in it because like it wasn't me who pushed to be there. So I think when I actually started pursuing contest math seriously, like at the end of seventh grade, um, and like this was like during COVID, so think about like everyone being locked in their houses, like you can't go anywhere. Like I couldn't play basketball, so I think like uh I happened to be taking like an online geometry course, and stumbled across like an Amy problem, and then just started just like trying to hack away at it. So I'd say like you could say technically it was my parents because they introduced me to what the AMCs were, but I'd say like the more important thing was just I stumbled upon like an interesting problem and I started just like getting really invested in it, and that's how I like found like other sources and like found AOPS and found amazing people like you all. So.
Yeah, I guess. Does anyone have like any other thoughts on this question or any other answers they have how they got into math? If not, we can move on to the next spectrum question. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, it's probably good. We can move on.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Seems like people have been saying a lot of B's and F's in chat. So that's cool. Parents, I guess that makes sense. Okay, next one. Andrew, I think this is yours.
Yeah. So what's your favorite time of day to do math? And we have options of, oh, oops, sorry. I was on the wrong slide. What's your favorite part of doing math? Is it learning math, getting questions right, challenging yourself, making friends, or other? I guess for me personally, I feel like I really enjoy like the beauty behind learning new concepts and like understanding them at a deep level where you can apply them to new things. And I think I also really do math because of friends. Like friends have been a big part of like my community. Like my math friends have been a big part of my community, and I really appreciate them. And yeah, I feel like combination of A and D probably for me.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I feel that, of course, math contests have given us access to this wonderful community, right? And meeting all these cool people. But at the same time, math is just interesting, you know? It's fun to learn new math, to really understand how certain concepts work and just, you know, get smarter. So I would say, again, for me, it's also very much A and D.
I would say for me, it is definitely partly A and D, but also I would bring up C. I think like math is just like a really great like medium for which you can just keep challenging yourself, like, and you can never run out of stuff that you don't know how to do. Like even if you come like really far, there's always more things you can learn and more problems you can solve. Um, and that's like what really attracts me to math is that you can never run out. And so you always have more like fun problems to work on and more difficult concepts that you don't understand that you want to figure out how to understand. And just never running out of that is really cool.
I think to like build off that, I definitely agree with A and D. Like, I mean, like we're all here because we enjoy math, right? And a big part of that is just like learning new concepts, trying new problems and whatnot. And of course, like I met so many friends at MOP and like other places like my ARML team, Lehigh Valley, or just like especially during COVID, like online Discord servers. But I think Srinivas said, like there's a duality between B and C because like getting problems right after like struggling for so long on them is it feels great. Like when like you solve your first like AME problem or like your first like last five AME problem or anything or your first last five AMC problem, like it feels amazing, right? But even like and you can feel like on top of the world in those moments, and that's great. But there's always like a bigger challenge looming. And at first, I think when I was younger, like this sort of scared me because I just saw it as like more mountains that I had to climb and like conquer, and I felt like a sense of obligation. But now that I'm like maybe a bit older, I think uh the fact that math is so vast and there's just like always like something else to chase, like from like AMCs to AME to like Olympiads, and then you have like undergrad and research math. Like the fact that there's always something out there just means that you will never run out of like something to be interested in or like to like hope for in life. So I think that's pretty beautiful. And that's why I tie B and C together personally.
Yeah, providing another way to, oh, sorry,
Okay, yeah, I guess like adding on to that, I think like math is like a lot of really cool like applications. So like I talked a little bit about like math modeling before, but like I just think it's like so cool how like math provides like sort of like a different like quantitative perspective on like because like when you think of like real world issues and stuff like that, they seem like very big and like they seem like I don't know, like very like untouchable. But I think like math is cool because it sort of like provides something like concrete that you can hold on to, and sort of like from that lens, you can sort of like see how like you can just sort of like tackle those problems in like a more quantifiable way. And I think it's also just like really cool like math opens like a bunch of like doors. Like math can be used in like you can use it in like programming and stuff like that. You can use it in like statistics to like understand like data about people. And so I think like the problem solving skills you like build from like these math competitions, like even like after you graduate and like you go into college and like beyond and stuff like that, like those problem solving skills will like stay with you forever. And like those will like have like really those will like help you like do a lot of really cool things in the future. So I think like it's just like math is just a great way to sort of like build that like problem solving skill.
I think also, maybe last up before we move on, between B and C, personally, I don't really enjoy getting a question right unless I challenge at least somewhat on it. if there's just a really easy question, I immediately see how to do it and I get it right. There's no real satisfaction that comes from that, but sort of what Isaac was saying earlier. When you really have to sit and struggle with a problem and then still, you prevail and end up solving it, I think that's the most satisfactory part of the problem solving experience. Like, the success after the struggle.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I think like math is really fun because you can learn stuff. There's so much to learn. You can also make friends. And I also think like it is kind of fun like improving because in math you can kind of tell when you're getting better. Like if your scores like get better, like you can tell that you're like kind of successful, which is kind of satisfying because it's like your work is paying off. So I do think it's kind of satisfying in that way. But yeah, I agree with all of this. Okay, maybe we can move on to the next spectrum question then. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. So the next question is, what's your favorite time of day to do math? So we have like morning, afternoon, evening, night, and then during school. So I guess like for me, it would be like afternoon slash like during school. So I'm like part of my school's math team, which is like super, super great experience. And like we do like a lot of math. Like we meet like every week and we'll like actually like last night I was like at like a math team practice, which is like super fun. And those are always like I feel like those are always like actually really fun. Like yesterday we were doing like relays and it was like really chaotic and we like were passing our slips of paper around and like it was just a super great experience. And like we also like do this thing at my school. So like during lunch, like a bunch of like math team people will like go into like this one classroom and we'll all just like start doing math together like during lunch. So I just think it's like really fun and wholesome to like do math with friends. Just like there's like it just like creates like an atmosphere that's like very invigorating and you're just like I don't know, you just like makes math like that much more exciting because you realize that like you can do it with other people. So yeah. Does anybody else want to share any experiences?
I guess for me, I think if I had the ability to do math in the morning or during school, then that would be fun because I feel that my brain is most active during those times. But at least in my current situation, what happens is that I go through school, not a ton of time to do math because of all the coursework, right? I come back home, I'm exhausted. So then I just wait a bit getting done with all of my schoolwork. And then towards the later hours of the night, I can spend more time doing math because I've kind of healed from the trauma I've endured at school. So for me, I would say my favorite time of day to do math is probably night, although I can understand why it would be different for others.
Yeah, I would say for me it's also like evening and night, for a similar reason. Like I just don't really have time in the morning or during school. Um, and so it's always just better like when I don't really have anything on my mind, like I need to finish this thing, I need to like write this essay or something like that. So if I just have like just a clear mind and just like seemingly unlimited time, which it feels like at night, then that makes it like most conducive for problem solving for me.
I have a different answer. Personally, I find doing math during school to be like the best because I feel like it's really underrated. Like sometimes like the capacity that the brain has for like just like having these like key like moments of realization, like when you're not doing something. Like for example, I would just like unconsciously like solve a problem with like a big idea when I'm not doing math. And I feel like it's like during school, like there's many like short breaks in between and like some moments in which you just like zone out of classes. Don't have a teacher that, but like in those moments, like ideas can come to you suddenly, and I feel like you don't have to like have big chunks of time to do math. Like you can also just think about questions throughout the day, like even during times when you're busy. And I really appreciate that.
And going off of that, like I don't know about like other people, but I often like store math problems like in my head just to like do when I'm bored, like or when I'm like trying to fall asleep or when I'm like biking back from school or just like random times because it's just like gives me something to think about. And as Andrew said, like often like it's times when you like least expect it that you just have this like insight on a question, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I think this is actually a good point. Thinking about math in your downtime, or maybe not like even when thinking about math, even when it's not during a designated time for practicing, makes you get significantly better, because you're just keeping math in your foreground. I think Luke has talked about this before, but maybe thinking about math in the shower or like while you're eating lunch or something, it's just gonna continue to develop the problem solving skills that are necessary to go far.
Yeah, so I guess I agree with a lot of what people have said so far. I I'd say like my favorite time to do math like during the day though depends on like what stage of my life I'm in. So like, and another thing I want to emphasize with this like statement is like there's like no perfect like way to do math. So like, I mean, there's been like, so like right now I'm like pretty busy with school, so I think I've done like a little less like sit down time for math, but I've had like more days where like people said, like sometimes at night when I can't sleep, like I'll just like try to think of a problem. And even if it doesn't feel like I'm making progress, like at like what, like 12 a.m. because it's 12 a.m. and you don't have paper or whatnot, like that time really does add up and it like develops another side of your brain consciousness. I don't know if that's too deep, but yeah. And also like I'd say if like yeah, so another thing I want to emphasize is like don't worry about the perfect way to do math. Like as long as you like care about it and you spend some time, whether it's like during a study hall or right after school or like while you're eating dinner or something like that, like that time is valuable. So stop wasting energy like thinking about whether that's the best quote unquote decision or not. And just enjoy the math you're doing. So I
Yeah,
think you got it.
wait, no, sorry, go on.
I was actually gonna move into the next question, but if you have something to add, that's amazing too.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with what Isaac said. Like stop looking for the right training. Like there is no right training. Like what I mean, you can see here that everyone has different ways of like practicing math and they all kind of work. So like however, like whatever works for you, like go for it. So yeah, I also like to agree. I mean, I also like to do math during school because sometimes like when I have like a homework assignment or like something that I really have to do and really don't want to do it, I just like do math instead because like I would rather do anything other than that. So like often when I'm at school and should be doing homework, I like do math instead because I don't know, it's just like really satisfying. And yeah, what
I
else?
was maybe last point before we move on. Doing math in school is great and all, but still, people make sure that you're paying attention in school as well and getting your schoolwork done. School is still important, even though math is much more fun. But yeah, I think we can move on now.
Yeah. But also, someone in chat said like whenever my friends do it, yeah, I also relate to that because like sometimes I'll be doing something else and like my friends will like ask to like group solve and then I'll just like stop doing whatever else I was doing and like do math with them, which is much more fun than doing math alone. Although doing math alone is still fun, but yeah.
Yeah, just a quick disclaimer. We are not encouraging you to like not pay attention in class and let everything else like just not focus on school because there is like value from school that you can gain from like all classes like English, history, science. So just a disclaimer. But yes, our next question is who do you like to do math with the most or in general, I guess? Um, I guess personally, I'd say it's a mix of like D and E for me. And it's not that like I don't like doing math like in person with friends. Like I do appreciate the opportunities I have to do that. So like I like ARMO practices or I also have a neighbor who's pretty invested in contest math too. So we actually lived next to each other for like 4 years without knowing it, without knowing that we each were like invested in like the AMCs. But yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. We did some math together a while ago. It was fun. But at D&E, I think online is just great because you get rid of like the distance barrier and also you don't have to like necessarily do it live on call. Like you can just like have like a chat where you just like work on problems together and like if you have to like if someone has to go to like sports practice or whatever, like they can just like write down their ideas and you can come back and like pick them up and just keep working. So I think that's it's much more efficient in a way. But also E by yourself, like math can like and as we've seen through math contests, like math is very collaborative, right? But there is like some value that you get by doing math on your own, which is like irreplaceable because like the ability to just focus not just on the problem, but also yourself and like your consciousness and like just like having the guts to like attempt really hard problems, which is amazing. I think that's very valuable as well. So
I think I have a slightly unpopular opinion on this question. I actually don't really enjoy doing math with other people. I feel that just I guess my brain and the way that I go through problem solving, it's different than how some other people do it. And for me, when I'm group solving something with someone else, the issue is that a lot of times our ways of thinking about a problem clash, And while it's still fun, because you're with friends and you're doing math, both fun things, I just really don't gain as much out of solving problems with other people as I do doing them by myself. I still really enjoy to discuss math with others and possibly teach others. But when I'm really trying to understand something, I feel that it doesn't really, I can't do it if it's with someone else. I have to really go through it on my own.
This is tangentially related to the question, but you can also talk about math with a lot of people without doing math with them, as Opera said. After a contest, for example, I talk with people a lot about the contest, the problems on there, and how to solve problems, or the motivations for solving problems, and that's really fun. Just talking about that, and also just other math related things, sharing math problems with other people, and or sharing math related games with people and playing them, or things like that I do with a lot of my in-person friends, with much less than doing math with them. But I think that still counts for the question.
Yeah. Sorry, you can go, Andrew.
Yeah, for me, I also think I do it with a combination of online friends and just by myself. But I've realized that sometimes it's really helpful to see how another person thinks about a problem. Like for me personally, for a long time I just couldn't do Olympian geometry. I just couldn't deal with all of the lines, circles, and all so on. But when I talked to more people, I just felt like I got to see their way of thinking about a problem, how I can break it down into different pieces in which they're more approachable. And that's really helpful because we all are good at different things. And I think if we combine our strengths, that we can each become better through group solving and so on. And it's hard to find a community of really devoted math people in person. So most of the time we have to rely on online friends, which I think is we have really good AOPS and Discord. I have really good math communities, and I'm really appreciative of all of my friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I like doing math with friends too, except sometimes I don't want to completely get carried or completely carry someone else. So sometimes I'll want to do math myself instead of doing it with particular people. But generally I like doing math with friends. I also like doing math by myself though. So yeah, both are cool.
All right, our next spectrum question is, what do you do to take a break from math? And some of the options are talking with friends, going outside, exercising, reading, or video games, or social media, or something else. So I'd say for me, it depends for a lot of these. It depends on how I'm feeling. Yeah, usually, when I don't feel like doing math, when I've been doing solving problems or working on problem for too long, then I need to take some sort of break. And sometimes this is just talking with people. But sometimes I don't really want to talk with people. I also just want to be alone, and then I might go outside or read or something like that. But it definitely depends on the situation for me. But I'm curious to hear everyone else's thoughts on this.
Honestly, I feel like it's a bit of everything, I think you can generalize this question as what do you do to take a break from math? So just in general, what do you do to take a break, right? And there are many ways to do this. Either you can talk with friends, you can just get some fresh air, or we all have our individual hobbies and such that we can just do to try to de-stress and relax, right? So I think for me, it's honestly a bit of everything. I don't really have a set routine or a set thing I do if I'm getting tired or want to take a break from math. I just do whatever it's on my mind or whatever I think would help me out the most at the point in time,
I think taking a break from math, you don't need to set a hard and fast rule of what to do. We're all humans, we have emotions. When you're either if you're taking a break because you're stuck, or you're just taking a break that because of a really long day, you need different things at different times. So just do what you need in that moment. So maybe if you're really angry about not being able to solve a certain set of problems, you might want to go outside or exercise like change like the chemical balance of your brain or something. Or if it's just like been like a long day and you've done a lot of work, maybe you could just like talk with friends to relax. So I think that's my take on this.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so since we're a little short on time, we're going to speed it up a little. So, okay, I think this is the last spectrum question. Who has influenced you the most in your math journey? Yeah, so there are some interesting options here. I'd say probably friends influenced me the most. Like well when I was really young, like my mom did because she kind of like taught me math when I was like really young, but like ever since like middle school, I think my friends have influenced me the most because like for example, in middle school, I would like get on AOPS for the win every day and like have fun with like random people on the internet, and like that really like influenced me to like math, and also made me want to like meet them at math competitions and stuff. So I think since then, like I've just kind of like done math competitions so that I can like meet people. For example, like MOP is like a great chance to meet people in person. It's like a summer camp for a few weeks. So yeah, it's really fun. What about the rest of you?
I'll say, yeah, I agree. I think originally it was my parents who got me into it, but then afterwards it was my friends that kept me in it, right? And not even just friends, but also sometimes idols or people who you're close to, who you look up to, right? Being with them and talking to them can really be a great inspiration to continue studying and doing math. And also just with friends, it's fun to, have a similar hobby as your friends and work toward a common goal, whether it be making mob, whether it be doing well at the AMCs, whatever it is. So I think friends are a big portion of it. Also, I would just like to remark, I'm glad that I think only one person said D, enemy. It's not very healthy to be motivated by having some enemy in your math journey. It's definitely much better if you're motivated by your friends. I feel that with an enemy, you shouldn't be driving pleasure based off of other people's failures. Rather, you should be driving it based off of their successes and your successes.
Yeah, for me, I would say like I owe a lot to like my school's math team. They like support me so much and they like really help me. Like I used to be like really like nervous about math and like I would be scared to like speak up in like team rounds and stuff like that. But they sort of like helped me get that confidence. And I would say like I want to say D just for like the fun of it. Like we don't really have any like enemies on my school's math team, but like we like to joke how we want to beat like other schools and stuff like that. And it's just like fun to like have like goals and like be able to like work with our team to sort of just like shoot high and like try to do well at like travel competitions. So that's always fun.
I guess that in that sense it's fine. You can be motivated by competition, so long as it's friendly competition. Don't be, making people your lifelong enemies based on math contests.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we have another subtle transition, and we're back to stories.
Yeah, so I'm gonna open up a poll real quick for the three options. Okay, launched. And I guess just for sake of mystery, I'm not gonna explain any of these photos until voting is done. We'll give it about 10 more seconds. All right, looks like picture 3 is winning by a solid margin, so I'm gonna end the poll here. Yeah, so what is this picture? This picture was taken on like the last night of Mob 2023, which was this past summer. So it was just like I am in like the upper left, like standing with a fry. And this is like sort of me and some of like a lot of the friends I made at MOP, and it was sort of like a last supper, if you will, where it's like I think it's 10 p.m. after like the closing, like MOP closing ceremony and talent show. And we were just like eating food and just chatting about like memories and what we are gonna do and how we'd stay in contact. But like I guess looking back, this photo also represents like what math brought to me through MOP. Like MOP is unfortunately it's only 3 weeks long, but those weeks are so packed, yet they go by so quickly. And I guess it represents like how just as math Olympians, we all share a passion for like problem solving, right? But in addition to that, we can enjoy like doing math together, but also just like share other life experiences. Like we played like way too much ping pong and pool in the dorms at MOP. I remember like me and one of the other people here, like we watched like the NBA finals together. Like we went on roller coasters together at Kennywood, which Andrew mentioned earlier. Um, so yeah, this photo is just like a really cute memory for me, just to sort of look back on how like MOP transformed us, and helped us see each other outside of the math world. Um, I guess like a random anecdote. The reason I'm standing in this photo and everyone else is sitting is because this chicken sandwich I ordered was like way too spicy, so I was like running back and forth in the water fountain. Uh, so yeah, that kind of adds to the experience.
Okay, I will also open a poll on my pictures. So I'll just give some like brief context on these photos. Like the first one is in Utah. The second one is at an MAA like meeting. The third one is at MOP, and I'm wearing a hat for a specific reason, which I will not reveal. But yeah, I'll give it like a few more seconds. Okay, it looks like picture one is winning by a solid margin. Okay, so picture one was like when I was really young, like even younger than the second photo. And it was just like my family just went on like a vacation to this place called Moab, Utah. And this was like before I got into math contests or anything. But I thought it was just kind of cool because like we were like on this like truck that looked like this, and like there was like a driver there, and the driver was like telling us a math problem. Um, because like he just had it and he was just like, and I don't even remember the exact problem. It was like about some like people checking into a hotel and like paying money. I don't remember the exact statement, but I thought it was just really cool how like even in the most like unexpected time, like you can like have someone who you don't even know, just like a random person who's like driving this like truck, um, telling you a math problem. And like we talked about the math problem for like almost the entire drive instead of like actually like looking at the scenery or whatever. So I think this is just a really great example of how like math is everywhere if you just like look for it. And this definitely like helped get me into math contests and like just seeing like how prevalent math problems are and how you can share them with a lot of different people. So this is like before my math journey, but yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay, so these are my pictures. They're kind of maybe not as interesting as other people's pictures because I don't have very many pictures of myself. But anyway, wait, okay. Let me start the poll again. Oh, it started. Okay. Okay, seems like picture two is winning by a lot. Okay. So picture two is basically like at MOP last year, there was this one like really small room on like the fourth floor that had like a table or like a few tables and a whiteboard. And like me and some of my friends, including Opera, like use this room like almost every night to just like do random geo problems. So as you see, there's one like random problem that was actually like from like AOPS. It was just like some random problem that we found on AOPS, and we were like doing this problem on a whiteboard. So it was like a place to like bond basically because like I bonded pretty well with all these people that like I did math with. And yeah, also like at MOP, I guess like doing math is just like fun. Like it's really unique. There aren't very many places in which like people there just like really do math for fun. But as you can see, like at MOP, people just like did math in their free time, just like for the fun of it, not like to prepare for anything, just like for fun. So yeah, I guess that is kind of what this diagram is. Yeah, it's a pretty good diagram for a whiteboard, I guess. Okay, I guess we can move on then. The last transition. Okay, so this is some information about the AMC. We can come back to this at the end, maybe. These are some important dates for the AMC. And now it's Q&A time, so I guess you can ask any questions. And yeah, we can like answer. Or if you want certain people to like explain other stories, we have a little bit of time.
I think one of the questions that someone asked earlier towards like the beginning of the chat was, how do we find time to, practice math, and like how much practice does it really take to, qualify for something like MOP? I think, I guess I would answer this question by saying it's different for everyone. A lot of the times moppers have a lot of other things going on and are just generally very busy. So I feel that one of the strategies that you need to learn as a math competitor is to work smarter and not work longer, because you could spend a ton of time just doing various problems and not really thinking about it, giving up as soon as you see it and then seeing the solution. And this won't necessarily help you as much. But if you really try to optimize your practice, as in, oh, you take a few practice tests, what are you weak at? Oh, you're weak at this concept in combinatorics, then you need to spend more time on this concept in combinatorics. And then, from that, you end up getting better. So I would say, I guess my best advice is act smarter with your training. Don't necessarily just waste time, really be focused. That way you wouldn't have to spend as much time while doing it.
Another thing I like to add is like it's really unpredictable how like the time you spend like translates into like results in math contests. Like for me, an example is so like in ninth grade, I like trained a lot for Olympiads. Like I spent a lot of time on it. Um, and then like I barely got any results. I was like comparing myself like over the years and saying like I worked this hard, but I didn't like make any progress. Then the next year I was like pretty demotivated. I didn't really spend that much time on Olympiads. But then that was the year like I made MOP. So it's just like you can never know how these things go, and like sometimes like you just have a bad day, or like some random thing happens on the day of the contest that makes you do well or badly, and you just can't predict all these things. Like the only thing you can do is just like keep working at it.
Yeah, I like definitely agree with that point. I'd say like in terms of like math contest philosophy, if you will, like there's so many things that like people worry about, like myself included, especially when I was younger, but also now, like should I use this book? Like how much sleep do I need to get like before like the AMC to be in optimal condition? Like uh just what training program should I do? Like yada yada yada. I'd say it's like very hard to accept this fact, but you can't it's you pretty much can't find the right answer like almost all the, like every time. So it's very hard to like get like a definitive answer on what is better to do or what you should do. So um the best thing to do is just to not worry about it and try to enjoy the math you do every day, and hopefully that leads you to where you want to go. But uh and like this is easier said than done. So like I'd say like even though I'm saying this now, like I have not completely accepted this fact. Like I do have days where it's just like I'm wondering like what am I doing? Like am I doing the right thing? Like why can I not solve this problem? Maybe I should have like trained this subject harder when I was in like middle school. But it's like a gradual process of acceptance. And I'd say like the earlier you realize this and the earlier you try to like uh mature and understand this fact and acknowledge it, the better off you'll be.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for everyone's responses. So I think some people wanted Andrew to explain his third pick, so I guess you can do that right now. Wait, let me find the third pick. Yeah, there.
Oh yeah, so this photo was taken in April of this year in PUMAC, which is the Princeton Math Competition. It's the people next to me are Oran and Anna, who are in this chat right now. Shout out to them. It was a really fun experience, PUMAC overall, like meeting people, and as well as like the problems itself. And I just really enjoyed this experience. It's like it's not often that we get to see like our math friends in person, and it's like those moments in which like we really like cherish. And yeah, I put that as my third photo.
Yeah, nice. Okay, does anyone have last questions? Oops. Hold on. I think we're just about out of time. So I don't know. Does the MA have like anything that they want to say?
Yes, thank you. Well, first of all, I want to thank all of our panelists for sharing your experiences and your advice and hosting this event for everyone. I hope the people in the audience that you enjoyed some of their stories and enjoyed sharing your experiences. I'd also like to thank you all for coming out tonight and sharing part of your Friday evening with us. We will be posting the video when it's available on the MAA YouTube channel and the Empowered page. And I wanted to say good luck to everyone who's participating in the MAA AMC 1012, the A on November 8th and the B on November 14th. And for those who are taking the MAA AMC 8 in January, the 18th through 24th, I hope you all have a really great weekend. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you for coming as well. You guys are what this entire thing is about. Have a nice evening, I guess.
Best
Yeah.
of luck on the rest of your math journey, guys.
Make sure to have fun with math contests. Don't take it too seriously. And like, I don't know, if any of you guys happen to have my contact, like feel free to like ask me about anything math contest related. I'm not gonna like leak that to like thousands of people online, but yeah, so